Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as usual, I went on Instagram and did a temperature check and kind of saw what topics you guys wanted me to talk about, and something I found very prevalent, or one of the major things that was all in my I did like a question thing on my Instagram story. It was all in there. It was basically things about relationships, a lot of heartbreak questions, and then a lot of kind of questions about basically all kind of led to the theme about heartbreak relationships and finding quote unquote the one, or does the one exist. All these questions kind of bring all these topics kind of brewed within me and kind of stirred within me, and I kind of began to formulate a topic for this video. So in this video, I'm going to discuss relationships, how to know what a relationship, what its purpose is serving, how to attract your ideal person, and the whole conversation of does the one really exist. And I have a very solid and hopefully comprehensive answer that can bring you some light and clarity. So let's hop on in. So throughout our lives, first I'm going to start with this concept. When we are born, when we leave, we enter high school, in our young adulthood, we begin to form relationships, more intimate relationships, partnerships. And throughout our lives, we form various partnerships. And when we look at it objectively, all partnerships teach us lessons and allow us to grow. If we reflect upon the kind of person we are now versus the kind of person we were when we were in our first relationship, or even just our character, who we were as a person, years in the past, or when we first started dating, and etc., you would see very clearly that that person at that age was not emotionally mature to be in the situation that you are now. As we go and navigate through various relationships, we develop emotional maturity. Now, emotional maturity dictates the quality of relationships you could have. You could be 20 years old and you could be more emotionally mature than someone who's 40. You could be 40 years old and more mature than someone also who's 40. Emotional maturity does not come with age. That is something that I think we really need to realize. In addition, this is something that I can say wholeheartedly, men mature at a later rate than women, because biologically speaking, men can have children later. Men can have children in their mid-30s, men can have children in their 40s and be fine, and technically so can women. But if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, women are in their biological prime in their 20s and very early 30s. So having that in consideration, and without getting triggered about it, as much as you want to say, yeah, I want to, everyone has their own path and there's no judgment on that, but there are biological facts that we can't simply ignore. So going off of that, emotional maturity, right, is something that it takes lessons to understand. Emotional maturity takes experiences to show us where we are not emotionally mature and where we need to rise up. These situations, again, can happen through relationships, whether serious, not serious, committed, long, short. A 1-month relationship can teach you a lot about emotional maturity that a 6-month one couldn't, and vice versa. So we all go through various experiences to reach emotional maturity. You can attract a relationship at any point in your life. Truly, but what you need to recognize is that the relationship, or the quality relationship that you will attract, will be based on who you are as a person, your frequency, your vibration, kind of your general, who you really are at the core, even if it's hidden and you do a good job of hiding it, as well as your emotional maturity, what you'll accept. Because oftentimes I find it happens more often with women. Women will accept a less emotionally mature man or adult that they have a relationship with than the opposite. So I mean, that you can see that as well in like certain aspects, but that's what I see in the majority of cases. And so we think about from stemming off of that, we're going to go into the next topic, which I'll circle all these back together. We all want to find, the person that's our person. It's been shown to, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people would like to, find their partner, someone who is going to be their rock, someone who they can develop a healthy relationship with, build a foundation with, navigate life with, have or not have children with, and basically, move through this adventure we call life together. Yet a lot of people are not where they need to be to attract the kind of person that they want. They in their head want someone who is, let's say, loyal and successful and intelligent and kind-hearted and all of these traits that we all desire. Yet are you reflecting those back yourself? So that is one thing to consider. This subject is so multifaceted, so I'm going to try to just kind of lay out the foundations of everything that has to do with this topic, hopefully kind of giving you a taste. And if any specific subtopic that I discuss piques your interest, let me know in the comments and I can do a full video on that. I'm kind of just like laying out like the chapters, like the first page of this chapter, the first page of this chapter. I'm just kind of laying out all the chapters of this topic so you can kind of see what it encompasses. And then again, if something is very resonant amongst you guys and you want to hear more, I will gladly, you know, discuss that if a lot of people want that. So, or you can always chat with me one-on-one via DMs or one-on-one via coaching if you have a personal situation. I do 1 hour and 30 minute Skype sessions, and that's in the description. Anyway, so I never want to throw that in as like, do this with me, but like if you are interested, that is an option. So next, we need to also understand there is behavioral psychology. So the way men and women are so different, of course we deserve equal rights. However, we need to acknowledge that we are honestly completely different, and that is the beautiful thing. That is why when the divine masculine, divine feminine is properly developed, it is a beautiful thing, and the woman feels empowered and soft and at ease, and the man feels like a leader and strong and powerful and basically masculine. And when those two are, you know, in a flowing in a harmonious way, you know, the kind of like I talked about before, the yin and yang, the black within the white within the black, and those are come together, that is a harmonious relationship. However, in our society today, I do feel like there has been a very intense push for women to be very much on the masculine side. You know, it's of course everyone has their rights to do what they like to do. If you want to work and if you want to do this and you want to be a leader, that is totally fine. That is, you know, whatever you want to do is great. However, it is very important to be in touch with your feminine energy, because if a woman is very in her masculine energy, the only way that energy can be balanced is if she was with a man who is more feminine. There is nothing wrong with that. That can work well. However, it's almost like the roles are reversed. You're still getting that maybe symbiotic flow, but neither person truly feels in their core frequency. The woman may snap, and at times often you see women like this infidelity in these kind of situations where the woman is more powerful than the man, and the man doesn't feel masculine, doesn't feel motivated, doesn't feel like he is the catcher and kind of seeker, and just kind of gives up almost. And so I think it's very important for people to recognize, not that like there's need to be specific roles, but that there is a harmonious flow to a relationship that has worked and been successful for a reason. And that when a woman is in her feminine energy and is more, obviously it's one thing that you know, at work, be the leader, be who you need to be, but I'm saying in a relationship, that you should, I suggest, and I strongly believe, that you should be tapped in more into that feminine, warm, receiving energy, so then you allow the man to step up to the masculine kind of leader, kind of caretaker role. Not that they are your caretaker, but hopefully you can understand that they're kind of like the leader in the relationship. That allows them to feel in their power. That allows them to feel appreciated and understood and in their own energy. And when a man can feel like he is masculine and a leader and powerful, he's going to appreciate you so much more. So it's like so multifaceted. I'll finish this chapter and then we'll kind of like dive back in there. So yeah, so if you genuinely feel like you are emotionally available and you are, you truly believe that, and you've done the work, you can tell that you aren't reactive, that you respond, that there's like signs. I'll put up a thing that's like signs of like someone who's healthy and healed. If you genuinely can resonate with these things and you feel healthy and healed and whole and you're still having difficulties, I would strongly urge you to consider the kind of energy you're putting out, and on top of that, the desperateness. It's very annoying to say, but like men like what seems like what's valued, right? And what's valued often doesn't come easy. Not everyone can go buy a $5,000 Chanel bag, and therefore it's valued higher. There are certain truths in our culture and in biology that have been ingrained that we just can't ignore. We can't ignore the fact that women seek more emotion, are more emotional and more expressive, when men are more directed towards like problem resolution, things like that. Like, there are inherent truths that are very deeply ingrained that we want to brush over and ignore and say it's 2020, but it's not that simple. And so I think that if you're at that stage, I think it's really important to consider the desperateness. And in order to combat desperateness, it's quite simple when you discuss it. It's to genuinely get to a secure attachment style. I talked about in my last video, I highly suggest you watch it, about emotionally unavailable people, various attachment styles, whether you're secure, you're more anxious avoidant or fearful avoidant, if you're like on the clingy, more codependent side, or you're on the other side. I speak to both on how to heal. When you are at a secure net level and a secure attachment style, you will naturally not be desperate. It's not like a lot of people are on the anxious avoidant but try to pretend that they're secure. They try to hold back or not seem desperate or not and that can only work for so long. It's gonna combust at some point. You can only play that role or keep that act up for a certain amount of period, instead of going through this kind of cognitive dissonance of discomfort while trying to form a relationship. Work on actually getting to a secure attachment style where you genuinely do not seek that, and then it'll come. That's that chapter. Hopping back into the other side. Well, I'm going to kind of talk about a relationship. So I'm going to walk you through one scenario, and hopefully this will kind of answer a lot of questions. So let's say your goal is, you have the dream person that you'd want. You have all the qualities that you'd want in them. As you live through your life, as you navigate through the world, you watch shows, you see friendships, relationships, social media, you subconsciously note what you like and you don't like. You're like, ooh, that would be nice, or ooh, I don't like that in a partner. Ooh, that would be nice. Ooh, I don't want that in a partner. And that all goes into an energetic vortex of all your desired person. So although you maybe you didn't purposely sit there with the pen and paper, which you actually can do, and it can be very helpful when seeing if someone is in line, in line with you. I guess what sparked this is I watched Love is Blind, and just seeing, I mean, obviously the producers picked the people, they didn't edit it in a way and ask the provoking questions to illustrate a certain way, but it just really shows the pitfalls of some human development in terms of relational kind of dynamics that made me kind of want to talk about this video that a lot of you guys asked for, and I was like, here we go. But basically, so let's say you have this ideal person. It's all formed in this vortex. You see a relationship here, you see a relationship here, you're like, oh, I like that, oh, I love the way he treats her, oh, I don't like that, I would never allow that, vice versa. You know, you navigate and you quickly do have these small judgments that all goes into an energetic vortex of who you truly desire. Then, as you know, you navigate through life, you attract certain people in. So let's say you have this ideal relationship that you'd want, the ideal, the one that's harmonious, that's flowing, that's a supportive, symbiotic, healthy relationship. That is what you want. Yet you sometimes, let's say this is this relationship, and this is the frequency or the kind of person that you are at this point in life, or when this is here. Oftentimes you're not ready. That is what I see the most, and it's hard to admit. I can firsthand, you think like, yes, I am ready for that kind of relationship, yes. But yet there are certain lessons that if you don't go through here and learn to get to here, and this was just given to you here, it would collapse. I really want to reinstate that. Sometimes the person that you want, them included, maybe they haven't risen up to be that person. Very, very common. Sometimes you are not here. This is where you guys would be together, like at this level, and you both have lessons and growth to go through to get here. Or maybe, you know what I mean? That is why I discuss like divine timing and timelines, and kind of the quantum field of variance, how each decision really has so many different webs. And so I just want to instill this. How do I even say this? I have to just try to illustrate this point. Like, as long as you are truly in line with your true self and you follow your intuition as much as you can accurately, that's why I suggest, like I said, meditating and truly connecting with yourself, truly having an aware standpoint, being honest with yourself about the people you meet. Is this the person for me? And hearing the honest response. Is this situation helpful for me? What honest response? Is this situation conducive to a positive outcome? And being honest, you can filter out a very good amount of lessons that you can learn in easier ways. I don't say easier ways, but in other ways. So, but at the same time, sometimes you have to go through certain relationships to get to the one, which we'll talk about how there's multiple the ones. So your guide or your higher self knows that you need to be integrated as this kind of person to be in the healthy long-term relationship, but you have free will. So you can get to this point quicker, or you can take a longer route. You can get to this point in 2 years, you can get to this point in 10. People have free will. You can do what you want. You can continue in relationship cycles that you know aren't healthy. You can continue accepting what's not, you know, is less than you deserve. You can continue staying somewhere where you're comfortable. You have free will. So you guys are not going to push you out of a situation until it gets detrimental to your well-being. And I can attest to that firsthand. Until it is genuinely extreme detrimental to your well-being, your guys can push you out of it. But up until then, free will. If you really, really, really want to stay, there you are. Or because you really want to work on things. So what I want to say to you is that following yourself is so important. Following your truth. So if you know you're in a relationship right now that you know it's not the one, you don't feel comfortable, you just know, you can stay in that. And I'm sure you know, you can stay in it, you can keep floating on by, or you can take the risk and leap of faith and move forward. And if you just got out of a relationship that was like heartbreak, which I saw a lot of you guys had, take this moment and realize you literally are one step closer to being with the person that you truly want to be. I also want to ask yourself, if you really reflect on this person's qualities, I would say 80 to 90% of the time, it's not really what you would, if you were to be asked who would be your dream man, is that really that person, or dream woman, is that really that person? If you were to really be honest with yourself and reflect, is that really, really the person? And I'm sure 89% of you would say no. Maybe 10% would say yes, and it often is because you're very in it, and I would guarantee you 6 months to 1 year, you will look back and realize no, once the lessons are integrated, when the lessons are fresh and the wounds are open, it's hard to see the picture clearly, and I completely understand that. But I just want people to realize that, like I said, you have that free will. So there is a point where you need to be ready to attract that that genuine, you know, soulmate. There's gonna be multiple soulmate connection, your life partner. But because you have so many variants in your life, you know, your divine blueprint has very many pivot points of when you can get to that level. We have big choices in our lives, big pivot choices where you can go this way or you can go that way, and you have free will. So and because of that reason, you have many the one connections that are scattered throughout their life. You have someone who could be the one at this age. You could have someone who will be the one at this age. So your guys have many people that are ready to be, that are fit to be the one, and I want you to know that that connection all feels the same. So like, let's say you had someone you're like, I love this person more than I even thought I could ever love with someone. This connection that I had was just like indescribable, that I will never have a connection like that before. You will. The other person who is the one will be brought to you. Also, oftentimes you are brought the one, but because people have free will and they disrespect the relationship, your guides will not allow it. And because of that, if the person who they bring in, who as a genuinely could be a life partner match, that's why some people are like, I know this is the person, I've seen visions, I've seen this. It can be true. It could have been a life partner match, but because people have free will and they disrespect the relationship, your higher self and your guides will not allow you to be disrespected, and they'll see that they're violating the timeline. So they're like, basically not, I don't say not going according to plan, but they're disrespecting their relationship. So your guys are like, nope, remove this person. They're going to integrate some more lessons into you, and they're going to bring in another person. So I want you to know that if you think your relationship fell apart and that was the one, there is another the one. And if you feel like you're on this hunt where you're like learning lessons and learning lessons and learning lessons, you're getting to the point to become that person. The biggest advice I could give anyone, I know it's so vague and I know you've heard it, but it's to work on yourself, because that is always going to be the route to success. The more you can become fulfilled in self and in a core vibration, you will accelerate everything. You will see things in a clearer perspective. You will attract better quality people and a higher chance of attracting a life partnership connection. You just want to be doing what you can do on your part, right? And yeah, what I see also is very often is someone hanging on to something that you really need to let go, but because you have free will, you won't be given the next thing. So you could be holding on to a lesson when you have the one relationship available to you, but you have free will. So you can keep holding on and do whatever you want, and be hoping it worked out and begging and pleading and doing visualizations. If it's not working out and you're gripping onto it, it's your choice. It's your choice. That the one can be right there, but if you ignore it, they'll be flowing away. And don't worry though, because when you do end up letting go and you realize and you heal, another one will be brought to you. So you can never get it wrong. You won't get it wrong. It's the time that is shifted, and time is you know, it's not truly real, right? But in our kind of human experience, for lack of a better word, it is time. So like you will get that partnership, you will get the relationship. It's just how quickly will you get that? You know, like you can truly, if you do the work, receive things much quicker. Like I said that in the other video, you can go through your divine blueprint, you can go through this much of it in your life, or you can go through this much of it, or you can go just through this much of it. And that is where the free will choice comes. And that is where the faith comes. That's why those who are in a spiritual practice, if you like or you're doing meditation, you're doing yoga, which I know a lot of you guys are, you're becoming more connected to self, you're becoming more sensitive to energies, and you are becoming more attuned to what is for you, what isn't for you. And due to that, you're kind of filtering out, I don't want to say the garbage because I find that disrespectful, but you're filtering out that which doesn't serve you. And in turn, you are, even if you're attracting people in who aren't the one, you're attracting the lessons you need quicker to integrate to be the person you need to be. And then the more you have a deeper practice of self, you can let go of relationships that are meant for you. So one relationship. So I just want people to know, you can never get it wrong. So don't stress it. Like, you will not get it wrong. You let go of that now or you don't. You stay in this relationship or you don't. You will, the soulmate, or like the one kind of connections will continuously be brought into you, right? I mean, your whole life they truly will be. That's why some people, only after they've, for lack of a better word, fucked around their whole life, finally after they integrate and have like a midlife crisis, then they awaken, they become finally the person who they need to be to actually have a healthy, sustainable relationship. Do they only attract the one partnership? It's really all up to us. And that's, again, so yeah, but there's no need to stress about feeling like you're not gonna, things that are destined will happen. That they'll work. Things that are meant to work will work. You won't have to force it, you won't have to push for it, it'll come together. If you're feeling like you have to force and push and shake and tumble, it's not it. And I can tell you that immediately, because the one connections are very soft and flow in. Very soft and flow in. And even if you ignore it, are gonna be flown in continuously, and not in a way of someone who's toxic, who's trying to pull you back in, but in a positive approach. And again, even if you had the one relationship and it was disrespected, it will be removed for your sake, and you will learn, grow, and heal, and it'll all happen in the right time for you. And I hope that can give you a little peace and ease. I tried to cover many subjects here of really crucial pieces of advice that I feel like sometimes are hard to comprehend or hard to hear, or uncomfortable truths at times. Hopefully this kind of collective ball of information can help you in some way, because as much as possible, you know, do inner work and things of that sort, because that's always going to propel you forward into more prosperous timelines and experiences, relationship or not. That's why I always circle it back to there, because I want you guys to have the best experience. I want you guys to have the best everything, the highest possible version of you, the ultimate version of you in every moment that you can cultivate. I want that for you guys, and I love you dearly, and I'm here for you, and everything I say is genuinely out of love to help you get to where you want to be, or to help you be that new version of yourself that you've always wanted to be and experience. That's what I want for you guys, and I love you so much. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Again, I highly suggest you follow me on Instagram if you want to kind of be more involved. That's where I ask you guys topics or ideas or questions or anything that's on your mind for you to contribute, so I can bring it, stir it around in my mind and bring it here. And yeah, I love you so dearly. Any information will be down below that for them you might be interested in, and I love you guys, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.